Hi guys, welcome back, and in this video I will work on my grid EA. I will add some more functionalities and make it even more enhanced program. So I have created one video on the topic of grid EAs where I created like very simple code that can be used for generating grid EAs, and right here you can see the code that I have created in the last video. And if you haven't seen the video, I would recommend to check it out because I explain there all of these functions in the detail, and you can also see how I code them. So there will be links somewhere in here, so please check it out if you haven't seen the video. But yeah, let's continue in adding some functions. So just a quick recap: we have created our signal function, which generates signals for either opening buy or sell positions. Then we have our open initial positions function, which opens the initial position of the cycle. The cycle is like if you are having multiple positions of the same type, then you have a cycle opened. Then we have our open additional positions, which are this function opens positions in the grid. So after you have your initial position, then you check for the grid levels, and if the price crosses them, then you open additional positions. Therefore you are creating a cycle. And the last function here is close cycle function, and in this function we check like the profit and loss of our cycle, and if we either reach our take profit points or stop loss points, we close all of the positions in the cycle and we create a new one, or we allow the EA to create a new one. So that's what we created in the last video. So if you are interested in seeing how I coded all of this stuff, then please go check it out. And what I will do today is that I will add some more functions or some more functionalities to this code, so we have more options to increase the quality of the results. And the first thing I would like to add is the option to use dynamic grid. So right here you can see that the user, in order to use this EA, has to enter the value for the grid distance. So if I open any chart, so just to demonstrate, so let's pretend that we enter our position right here and we are buying. Okay, so at this point we want to buy, so we open a buy position and the price goes against us. And let's pretend that this is our first grid, this is our second grid, this is our third grid, this is our fourth grid, and this is our fifth grid. Okay, so let's assume that the distances between all of these grids are the same, and in this case it's like 400 points. So let's just pretend that this is the case. And in this case we open 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 additional positions, which is quite a lot. In this case it works well because the price reverts to the desired direction. So in this case we close all of the positions. in a profit, or not all the positions in the profit, but the cycle is in the profit, and therefore this is good. But let's check, for example, here. Okay, so this could be the same scenario. We open buy position here, and then we have our grid line like right here, 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 and here. So let's say that we would open like 6 positions in this price movement, and then as you can see, the price continues to downfall as right here. So that wouldn't be an ideal state of our positions. So what I am thinking of doing is that we will make a dynamic grid. What I mean by that is that let's say that the initial grid distance is 400 points, and for each of additional grid levels the distance increases. So for the first position it's like 400, for the second it can be 600, so we move this down. Okay, move it down, yeah, so like 600, and let's say for the next one it's like 800, so we move it here, and for the next one it's like 1000, therefore we won't reach the level, and we open only 3 positions. This approach can decrease our risk significantly, because if the price continues to go down or continues to go against us, then we can stay longer in the cycle, and therefore we decrease the risk of losing money. And that's what I will do right now. So right under this grid distance input, I will create a new input called it's going to be of the type of the double, because we will use decimal places. Let's say grid multiplier, and let's set to 1.5. so each time we will multiply the grid distance by this number. So in the first it's 400 times, or for the first initial position it's 400, and after that it's 400 times 1.5, which is 600, then it's 600 times 1.5, which is 900, and so on and so on. So this is what I will add here. Okay, so for this I need to create one more variable, which is going to be called last grid distance, and I will assign the initial value to the grid distance. Okay, so let's continue. So last grid distance is the variable that I will be working with. So what I will do is that you can see these parts of code are in the red color, which means that these are input variables. So I will replace this grid distance variable by the last grid distance, because we will be increasing the grid distance, so therefore I need a variable that I can tamper with. And what I will do here is that so let's check it. So this is our initial position. So after we open our initial position, what we want to do, so here we open our position, then we want to create our grid level. And as I said before, for the initial position, the grid distance has to stay the same as this input. So our first grid level, in this case is 400 points, and this is okay. But for the next ones, so in this open additional positions function, we want to increase the last grid distance. We want to multiply itself by the grid multiplier variable, and therefore the grid distance will be will multiply. Okay, so this should be working, and after that we have to go to this close cycle function, because here we are closing all of our positions in a cycle, and when we close the cycle we want to set the initial values to this last grid distance, so we can like start the new cycle with the initial values. And what I will do is that I will assign this grid distance to the last grid distance. And if I check it out right now, so let's check it out. So I will go grid template, so this is it, visual mode, it's okay. So yeah, so we start at 200 and we will multiply by 2, so it's easy to check if it's working or not. And then visual mode is okay, and let's increase this to 500 points so we open more positions. Okay. So let's wait and let's see. So our initial position is opened, and okay, we cashed in right away. So our next position is opened, and as you can see, the first initial position should be 200 points, which is correct. So now if we open new buy position, it should be 400 points from this last buy position. So let's see if that is the case. It's not, because we managed to close the positions with the profit. Okay, so this is perfect for us. So let's check it. This is our first position. So the distance between the first and the second position should be 200 points, which it is. And then the distance between these two positions should be 400 points, which it is. So this seems pretty great. The same thing happens right here. So initial position distance is 200 points, and then the distance is 400 points. So yeah, this is our dynamic grid. And you can see here that we have opened another cycle, or we have entered another cycle, and the same thing applies. 200, so now it should be 600, so this is okay. And now this should be 800, and it is okay. So this can decrease our risk significantly over our trading. Okay, so I'm just checking out all of these, and it's working really well. So that's what I want to see. So I will leave this as it is right now, because I will be adding 2 more functionalities to this code. So let's do it. Okay, so the next functionality I will be adding is the martingale system, or like the version of the martingale. If you don't know what the martingale is it's like okay, I will show you on some of these grids. So I will speed it up. Let's find our grid. Okay, I messed up. Okay, so let's find some grid in here. Let's say this grid right here. So this is our cycle of 3 by positions. And what does the martingale do is that it increases the lot size with each of these positions. So right now, if you check it, it's 0.01 lots, 0.01 lots, and also 0.01 lots. So the martingale, if we use the martingale in this situation, we would start on 0.01 lots, then we would progress to something like 0.02 lots, and then 0.04 lots. So we are increasing our lot size for each of these positions as we go in a cycle. And what this does, it's really useful, or like it's useful in some cases. In other cases it's really dangerous. So let's discuss why. The upside of the martingale is that as you open more positions, you need to be less points in a profit in order to be in a profit. Because like if you are 100 points in a profit with 0.01 lots, it's equal to being or one more time, let me think about it. Yeah, it's equal to being 50 points in a profit with 0.02 lots. So as you increase the lot size, you need less points to be in a profit in order to actually be in a profit. So that's why you could use the martingale system. The downside is obviously that that you are losing your capital quickly by using this, because it's the same principle. If you lose 1000 points with 0.01 lots, it's the same as losing 500 points with 0.02 lots. So yeah, that's it. So now I will be adding some sort of the martingale system to this code. So yeah, let's do it. So the first thing I will do is that or do you know what, just for this to be clear, let's create groups. So the first one is grid settings, the second is going to be target settings, and I will also create volume settings. Okay, so that's what we need. The first input is going to be our initial volume. So this is like what we want to start our first position with. So I will go here to the initial positions, and I will replace these static volumes by these initial volume variable. And after that I will need a double called volume multiplier is equal to, let's say, 2. Okay, so the same approach as with the grid, we need to keep track of our last volume, and then on each additional position we want to increase the volume and then keep the track of the lastly used volume. So that's what we will do right here. So let's create a double variable called last volume is equal to initial volume, and yeah, that's all we need. So I can leave the initial volume right here, and then what I want to do is to call last volume times the volume multiplier, and the same thing here, last volume times the volume multiplier. And then I want to assign a new value to the last volume variable, which is equals time last volume, which is equal multiply like this. Okay, this should be okay. And I will do the same thing right here. So last volume multiplied equals to volume multiplier. And the same thing right here. If we close the cycle, I have to reset the values in it. So initial volume. Okay, so now if I check this, like this is only the first part of this volume based coding, because there's going to be also a second part that I will need to change in this code. But right now I just want to check if it works as it should be working. Okay, so this is our first, our second, and as you can see, 0.01, 0.02, this works. The same thing, 0.01 to 4. So the martingale works as it should. Now, the thing I have to change is in this part of the code, because as I said before, as you increase the volume, you need smaller price moves. So now I have to change these parts of code, because like this works if we have same volume for each of the positions, but if they change, then I have to adjust the code as well. So let's do it. So we need to check here one more thing, and that is the position volume, and we can get it by calling the position get double function, and here finding the position volume. And then we will create a new variable called multiplier, which is going to be equal to position volume divided by initial volume. So what this does is that, like, for the initial position the multiplier will be 1, okay, and then as we go further, so for the second position it would be multiplier of 2, then multiplier of 4, then multiplier of 8, and so on. And then what I want to do is to take all of this, and I want to multiply it by the multiplier. Okay, so that's what I will do right here, times multiplier. So now so now this should be working. I think there will be an issue if I choose like some very nasty numbers for the multiplier for the multiplier value right here, because we haven't normalized the lot sizing, but I can do that after I test this out. So if I run this, we'll be able to see, okay, so the first is like 500 points, which is great. And now, okay, so now let's check it if it's going to be clear or not. So right now we have 73 points, okay, and right now Okay, I'm not sure if that is working as it should be working. Do you know what? I will do one very simple thing so I don't have to guess like this. So for the first test I will leave the multiplier to 1, so therefore all of those lot sizes will be the same. Then I don't want to use visual mode and I will click on OK. And after the test is done I will see the chart for the test right here. And then I will run the second test where I will increase the volume multiplier to 2. Therefore, the grid, these cycles should look different. Yeah, and you can see it right here. Okay, so no grid, no grid. So what you can see here, just one second, is that, for example, in this case scenario, we are this is the case where all of the inputs, all of the volumes are the same, and this is the case where we change the volumes as we go in a cycle. And the difference here is that we close these positions higher and here lower, and that's because as we increase the volume, each of those new positions in the cycle have like a higher weight to our profit. So if we have like this position of 0.01, it's not that significant as the position with the lot size of 0.04. Okay, so this is like 4 times more significant. So yeah, I hope that's clear. Same thing goes right here. If you check this, we have lost a position right here, but if you check it with the same lot size, so because all of those positions have the same weight, then we close the position right here, but with the martingale where we increase the lot size, we close it right here because we reach our stop loss much faster. So yeah, that's like the difference here. So I will try one more setting because I don't want this video to be extra long. So yeah, I will try something like 0.35 just to see if it works or not, and if it doesn't work I will have to change, or I will have to normalize, and as you can see it doesn't work. Yeah, invalid volume. So okay, let's check it out. This is okay. I don't have to tamper with this part of the code. What I'm interested in is this part right here, because on the initial volume or the initial position where I'm using the initial volume, I don't have to normalize that value, but I have to normalize these. Okay, so just for me, so I don't have to like normalize the values 2 times, I will do you know what? I have to normalize it just 1 time, because if I call this, sorry, I have to normalize it 2 times. Okay, so this is our last volume variable, so I will increase it by our volume multiplier, as I said before. And now I will go back to my previous template where I had the same issue. So I will just find my code in here so I don't have to remember it all. Okay, so this is my piece of code that I need. And yeah, I will also need this right here, so just bear with me for 1 second. Okay, minutes, and this should be okay. So now what I will do is that I will call normalize double last volume to the just to normalize, and this should be okay for me. Let's see. So now this should be working with some nasty number such as 1.35. So let's check it if this works or not. So we are opening our first position and it does not work. Okay, still we are getting the invalid volume. Okay, I'm now, just to be honest, I'm not sure if I have to assign the value to the last volume. I think it's not something I have to do, but I'm not sure, so let's check it. If this is going to, yeah, so it's something I have to do. Okay, so the issue is that I just thought that by passing this variable variable here, it will like update the variable, but I have to assign like this function to this variable. So that's where the issue was, and now it works perfect. So you can see that we are not increasing our lot size right here, even though we should, and that's because we passed this nasty number right here. So what happens is that it calculates the lot size, and that it rounds the lot size to the nearest number it can use. And yeah, so that's why we are getting these values right here. So if I do something like our basic lot size is 1.10 or 0.1, and then I use this number right here, it will work differently, because yeah, now you can see that it's increasing the volume. So yeah, that's it. So now it works. And I am thinking if there's some more functionality that the grid EAs can have. Of course, there are a lot of functions that these EAs can have, but they are not like something that they need to have, because these options that we have added, they enhance the EA drastically. Okay, I can't think of another function that I should add in order to enhance this EA even more. If you have any suggestions, please tell me in the comments, and I will add them. But what I want to do now is that I want to show you how this EA can be optimized right now. Okay, so let's use the Japan 1 hour for the last 4 years, and now I want to optimize this EA. So let's say that with this EA I don't want to use the stop loss points, so I just want to be always in a profit or lose an account. So that's not like a good practice for your real account, but since this is just like for the testing purposes, why not? So I will be iterating through the take profit points. I will be starting at 100 points for profit, step by 50, and let's say that the maximum take profit I want in a cycle is 1000 points. So now the initial volume, I will leave it, okay, I will leave the initial volume like this, big, no, yeah, okay, I will leave it by this, because for this volume multiplier, because if I select it here like 0.01, then there in the volume multiplier there's a lot of options that I cannot use. So yeah, that's why I will be using 0.1. Start at 1, step by 0.1, and stop, let's say 3. So okay, so I think this looks great. Just one more thing, I have to increase something like to 10,000, maybe. Okay, let's stick with the 10,000 account size and let's see how it works. Okay, so these are our optimizations. If you see something like this, then you know that you have lost your account. Okay, yeah, sorry, one more thing, I forgot also to optimize the RSI. So 10, step of 2, let's get to 30. Okay, and now let's wait. Let's wait and see what happens. Okay, so the optimization is quite fast, so that's great to see. And here you can see our results so far. With the great EAs, there's one statistic that should interest you the most, and that is the drawdown statistic. And why is that? In this, like in the classic EAs where you have your take profit and stop loss and you are not adding to your positions and such, the drawdown statistic is not something I'm that interested in, because like it's not that useful to check. With those EAs I like to check the profit factor and the number of trades, and also the average winning and losing position. And yeah, that's it. But with these grid EAs, the drawdown is like the most mandatory statistic you should look at, because for example you can see perfect factor of 240 right here, or this 34 with almost 1000 of positions, which is perfect for the classic EA. Yeah, you can see take profit of 250 points, which is perfect. But then you check the drawdown and you can see that at one point you were down almost half of your account, which is crazy. Or here, this is half, 75%. Okay, so this is like something you have to be aware of. Okay, but enough talk about this. Let's check the graph. So this is our graph for these settings, I think. Yeah, this is it. So if you check the backtest, this looks perfect, because from 10,000 we have made how much is it? Gross profit, sorry, we have made 35. No, sorry, we made 30,000, so like to 100% in a profit, which is great. But of course we were 28% in a drawdown, which is not terrible, but it's like not something I would like to see on my personal account. So if I, for example, test the same EA like since 2015, let's see how it goes. And we would lose all of our money right here, so that's quite funny. One more thing I will try is that I will try to optimize the EA on like the last 10 years, which gives you like some statistical edge if the EA shows itself to be profitable over the last 10 years, which is something you should aim for. So let's see if there's a combination that can yield in the good results. So you can see that we are receiving profit factors of 286 but 65% drawdown, so that's not something I would use. Maybe this one, like this looks really great, because if you have 26% draw, oh, this one even more, if you have 24% drawdown over the last 10 years, then like it's different when you have this drawdown over the last 2 years and over the last 10 years. Okay, so this right here, this looks perfect. This looks perfect to me. I would maybe think about using this EA or this set of settings, because being profitable over the last 10 years with such low drawdown, that's something nice. Of course, I said in the previous video about the grid EA is that the downfall is of course the fact that if you lose a position, then you lose all of your account. So yeah, that's something you have to keep in mind. I will do one more optimization, and in this case I want to include the stop loss points. So I will start at 3000 points, I will increase by 500 points, and let's go to like 20,000 points, and let's see what happens. Okay, so the optimization is quite fast as well, and of course this doesn't seem that bad. So with using the stop loss, you can see that we drastically reduce the drawdown metric. So for example, here we are below 10%, which is great, and profit factor of 165 is also very good. 1200 positions, also very good. Yeah, so I am really anxious about seeing how the curve looks like, because of course the curve won't be that smooth, because we will be hitting our stop loss multiple times here. So that's something that I know that I will see when I run each of these tests. So let's wait for a bit, and in the meantime I was thinking about showing you some EAs on the MQL5 market, because it's full of scammers. In fact, like those most selling EAs, those authors of them, they are just scammers, and it might be interesting to show you how they are tampering with the EA's results, because the first thing is that most of those EAs are not difficult to replicate. So I've coded the same EAs that you can see there, and then after you do replicate them, you know why they are so profitable, and that's most of the times because they are reading the history, and I will show you exactly how they do it. Okay, so now our optimization is done, and from these results I really like this one. So drawdown is low, profit factor is nice, so if I run this, it looks like this, which, like, for me this looks great. Now let's try the same settings on USD yen. Okay, it seems to be still profitable. Not much profitable, but still we made some profit. So let's try the same settings on GBP USD. Where is it? Here. This is going to be the last test I will be doing. And in this case, yeah, it's not that profitable. It's still profitable, but it's not like something you want to use. Okay, so this is going to be for all for this video. Here you can check the template. Okay, so for you I will go. Okay, so here is the template. You can code this for yourself, and the same thing as the previous template is that if you want different results, the only thing you have to change is the conditions for your signals, and the rest can stay the same. And after you do so, you have to optimize it like I did, and then I'm sure that you will be able to find some profitable grid EA strategies. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.